Most isolated country in the world, North Korea has now reported a COVID-19 outbreak that the country is calling a fever with unknown causes. Sneha Mordani explains how tough the country will find to really keep its unvaccinated population safe from severe infections. The United Nations has warned of dire consequences in North Korea.
North Korea's supreme leader wearing a mask for the first time in over 2.5 years of the pandemic. This after months of closing its borders, denying an outbreak and then confirming cases of fever. The isolated and impoverished country is now in a lockdown mode. The first ever COVID cases have been confirmed here. North Korea says the outbreak happened in Pyongyang in April. Several massive public events on the 15th of April and the 25th, including a military parade, is said to have been the reason for this outbreak. Kim Jong-un has called on the army to combat the situation, deploying 3,000 military medical officers to trace people with fever. There is, however, no acknowledgement that this indeed is an outbreak of COVID. North Korea has turned down offers of help from South Korea.
WHO is deeply concerned at the risk of further spread of COVID-19 in the country, particularly because the population is unvaccinated and many have underlying conditions putting them at risk of severe disease and death.
I think WHO has repeatedly said that where you have unchecked transmission, there's always a higher risk of new variants emerging, and part of that strategy of suppressing infection and vaccinating is, yes, to save lives in terms of reducing hospitalization and deaths, but also to keep pressure on the virus so we don't see the same rate of evolution of the virus around the world.
It does not even have vaccines to protect its people against severe disease. More than 26 million people are vulnerable to severe COVID. The healthcare system of the impoverished country is in tatters. Pyongyang has reported 58 deaths and over 1.48 million infections since April. Meanwhile, China has declared a premature victory over COVID after over 2 months of a brutal crackdown on its own people. Measures that forced people into quarantine and locked up kids away from their parents. The World Health Organization has finally acknowledged that China's zero COVID is not sustainable. In New Delhi, Sneha Mordani for India Today.